Hey everybody, Patrick from Crash Games here in our vlog post this week, and lots of great stuff to talk about. Just want to kind of give you like a preview of what we'll be covering in this episode. And the first thing off, I'm going to talk about some things via Kickstarter. If you've read any of my blog posts, I do a series called Behind the Curtain. And Behind the Curtain covers a couple things. One, it covers some of the things about running a small independent publishing company that are very emotional or personal, or that aren't things that you would normally share, which I always like to be transparent. So I like those posts to kind of let people know, like, here's some of the rougher things, like here's some of the tougher realities, and also personal things, like when one of my childhood heroes, Tony Gwynn, passed away early this year from the San Diego Padres. So I wanted to start to institute that in my vlog posts as well, of instituting a behind the curtains segment. So today we're going to start off with the behind the curtain segment about Kickstarter, and then we're going to transition into some tidbits of some things that have come in the mail that I'm excited about. And then Spencer, my nephew, is going to jump on, and we're going to chat about what we've been playing lately and what we've been thinking. Because believe it or not, amidst the craziness of the last couple of weeks, I had an opportunity to get some new games to the table. So we'd like to share our thoughts there. So stay tuned, and we'll get all of that going today. So behind the curtain today. As you guys know, I have a project up on Kickstarter right now, Dead Drop by Jason Kotarski, and we're just over 30% funding, so that's going real nice and well. Trying a new method this time of really simplified tiers of a basic and deluxe, and basically trying to include almost nearly all the stretch goals already out of the gate in the deluxe version, with just some additional alternate art decks that will open up as funding gets met and additional money is raised. So that's going really good so far. And today's conversation wasn't prompted by that, but more or less just kind of was thinking about something interesting that I could talk about today that doesn't get often talked about, and I thought I would do that. So everybody knows that there's a multitude of different companies on Kickstarter. You have companies like me that don't exist without Kickstarter. And then you have larger companies that use it as a marketing tool and as a pre-order system. And I don't honestly have problems with any way that people use Kickstarter. Kickstarter is driven by its backers, and backers will dictate how they want to use it. So I'm not bothered by larger companies that treat it as a marketing or pre-order system at all. The marketplace will tolerate what the marketplace tolerates. And so it's important that I preface, my next bit here with all of my comments are pretty much just from my experience, and solely my experience. I can't speak for other independent publishers. I can only speak for mine. And so I know that because my backers are so important to me, that sometimes I bottle up some frustrations that I have about Kickstarter in general or backer behavior. And I've been really feeling like that bottle is running over lately. So I want to make sure, though, this is not just a rant, that this is constructive feedback directly from a publisher to a Kickstarter backer. So things that maybe they hadn't considered or thought of that they can, now think of now that they're hearing it from the publisher's mouth. And again, my backers are the most important part of my business. My company doesn't exist without them. So it's important that, that regardless of whether somebody is a supporter or whether somebody voices frustrations, my customers are my customers and I care about them. But I'm also a human being with feelings and emotions and frustrations, no different than anybody else. So I just wanted to take some time to kind of explore some things. One of the issues that I've seen now that Kickstarter has been around for a while, because we've been doing this for 3 years now, and so I've been doing Kickstarter projects for 3 years. So I've seen Kickstarter has changed a tremendous amount in that amount of time. And I remember when board games were first introduced on Kickstarter, games like Alien Frontiers and Eminent Domain, that it was a big deal to get $15,000 in funding. And now it's like, I mean, gosh, you can, approach $1 million, so I think with that, a lot of expectations have been created, and I think that, and it's important that I always, keep these things in perspective. It's important that I think that, that I know that a lot of the stuff that I hear is from a very vocal minority. And I'm going to use that word a lot in this segment here, a vocal minority. Because I think that, and I want to make sure the vocal minority is heard too. Everybody gets to be heard. Everybody gets to be addressed. That's customer service 101. I've said this before in other vlog posts. It's not about how I treat my customers that are always there and happy and supportive. I think what defines me as a business and as a company is how I treat the people that aren't supportive, that are negative, that are angry or frustrated, because I think that's what defines your character as a person and what defines you as a company. So I'm going to be using that word vocal minority. And I think what happens is in a segment or a minority of the population of backers on Kickstarter, a sense of entitlement has been created. Because I don't know why. I think honestly, and I was thinking about this late last night, it actually woke me up in the middle of the night because I knew I was talking about this today, and I knew there's a good chance I might lose some customers over this. And if I'm going to lose them over this, I was going to lose them over something easy anyways. If me being honest and articulate and professional and candid is going to lose me a customer, then, I wish them the best of luck. I'm sorry to lose their business, but I was probably going to lose it at some point anyways. So, and I know I'm jumping all over the place here because I'm nervous talking about this, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. So I was thinking about what has created a sense of entitlement amongst a minority of backers, a vocal minority, albeit, but a minority nevertheless. And I think that companies like me and maybe other companies are so eager to get a project funded that sometimes it's like, well, if we're facing not getting it funded, we got to throw more gold into the pile. We got to throw more loot into the stash. And so sometimes we've given away the farm. I mean, I don't want to use this as an example, but look at the D-Day Dice campaign and the exorbitant amount of stuff they got thrown in. And I'll admit, I backed that for $30 and I got more than I should have. I got that bag, I got the collector's tin, and that was crazy. And I won't get into the whole rigmarole of why that company really isn't around anymore, but, giving away the farm can hurt. And I've done some experimentation. I did so much so with Yardmaster Express, in which I was kickstarting the game at wholesale pricing as an experiment, as a calculated risk, but it is giving away the farm. Like that was a $15 game, and I was, having people kickstart it for $7 or $8 to see how it would work. And that's on me. It wasn't like, oh, I don't think it'll fund. I need to throw extra stuff in there so people will back it. It was simply, let's see how this works. And that's kind of a different scenario. And I only bring that up to kind of reference, what I feel like giving away the farm is, but I think because there has been so many companies and there's a lot of these companies that just want to get one project out. One game companies that just want to see this thing come to fruition. They want it to exist and be a thing in the world. And I have zero trouble with that. And Kickstarter is a phenomenal avenue for that. And so, I know that people like that are like, oh, well, it costs what it costs. And if they take a $5,000, hit to the pocketbook, and shipping because they offered free shipping or EU friendly shipping, that costs them. And so, that becomes dangerous because then it creates a mentality of, oh, well, X company did this, so your company should do the same or find a way to give me something as well, and what I think that people don't realize and what I address and deal with every single campaign is there is always a minority of people that want more. There's nothing you can give them to make them happy other than if you were to give them a completely free game at free shipping, and then they'll be like, oh, it'd be great if the game came with this. All that stuff costs money. It all costs money. And I can't emphasize that sometimes I take costs to market my game better. I absorb costs to give my backers a better deal that'll hopefully retain them as customers. And it can be a good strategy because it creates that goodwill. but then it can also create a sense of expectation, right? Like if I was a parent and I gave my kid every single thing they asked for, when the brand new iPhone comes out, if I don't give it to them, well, gosh, what a villain. What a horrible person I am. And that's an extreme example, but I kind of feel that that's what's been created for a multitude of reasons. And really, I'm not going to go into all of them in this episode, but I believe there has become a sense of entitlement. I can't speak for any other projects, but I can speak for mine. And I know that as a Kickstarter backer of a Crash game, you're getting three things. You're getting free or discounted shipping. You're getting 20% off the game, with the exception being Pater. That was such an expensive game to make, I just could not afford to discount it. It's really a $60 game and I'm selling it at $50, but everybody's paying $50. And you're getting extras that are stretch goals that other people may or may not have access to, but if they do have access to, they'll have to pay extra for. So those are the things you're getting, and I am happy to continue to offer that. It just baffles me, though, that some people are not happy with that. And that kind of segues into the next bit of this behind the curtain segment, and that's international customers. International business is extremely difficult. And I really wish that I was doing this vlog post in about 2 or 3 months and I'd have a lot more data. And so I probably will follow it up then. But from what I've seen so far, I do have existing numbers and I'm trying to find alternate ways to make it work. And believe it or not, there's not one surefire way. If there was, I would simply do the math and make that happen and set up the logistics and do it that way. I know a lot of people seem to think that Amazon fulfillment is the way to make international affordable, and it's not the way for me. I have tried to figure out how to make that work, and I simply cannot. And so what I've done is I've partnered and am trying to partner with several international fulfillment companies, one in Canada, one in East Asia, and one somewhere inside of the EU, ideally Germany or France. And I haven't solved all those problems yet, and I'm running out of time. And that's really stressful and really crazy. I have the sneaking suspicion that I'm about to pay tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket in extra shipping costs in order to make my projects more attractive to international customers. This is not a problem that's unique to me. This is a problem that a lot of independent publishers have been very vocal about. And I just, but they haven't been as forthright with all of it. And so I recently read a blog post by James Mathis with Minion Games. And it freaked me out because he was saying the things that I was seeing in my projects and thinking and feeling is that it is not good financial business to gear your Kickstarter campaigns towards international customers. And this is frustrating because what I don't want to communicate as a business is that my international customer isn't important, because every single one of my customers is important. Whether you live in Ohio or Timbuktu, if you want to buy my game, I want to sell it to you. That's business 101. Be easy to do business with. But there's also the realities of when you're in business of making it financially work. I can tell you this much. My costs on a game to send to an international customer, whether they're in Canada, whether they're in Taiwan, or whether they're in Germany, is 3 times the shipping cost as it is to send it to a US customer. And I'm trying to explore a new method of offering EU friendly. I feel like EU friendly is a trap, and I'm going to know the answer to that in a couple months. I feel like it's a trap for me. It's great for the backer, but I feel like once I do all the numbers and marry all the costs, because for as much effort and planning and work as you can put into a Kickstarter campaign, it is staggering how much of it is still guesswork. So I'll know more in a couple months, and hopefully I still exist as a company in a couple months, but I will definitely be forthright with the information. But from what I've seen so far, it is not good business to gear your Kickstarter campaigns towards an international customer. Because looking at the numbers of my past projects, and I'll be able to, again, I'll know a lot more in 3 months. 3 months will dictate what Crash Games does and how Crash Games operates in the future. Because either this is going to work or I'm going to lose a lot of money. And I have the sneaking suspicion that it's going to lose me a lot of money, which is going to really suck. And I'll find a way to make it happen. But The realities of this is that it's simply a lot of guesswork. And so looking at the numbers from, say, like a project of Council of Verona, we had it priced at $12. It was a $15 game. There were a lot of good amount of extras in it. And it looks like international customers represented about 10 to 20% of my total Kickstarter backers. Yet in regards to shipping, it's 3 times as expensive. Even though it's only 10 to 20% of the customer base, the shipping cost is 50, 60% of my shipping costs were to ship them their products. And now that I'm exploring an option that includes VAT and taxes, I have the sneaking suspicion that it's going to be more. And so I may have shot myself in the foot. And it wasn't for a lack of planning. It's simply another calculated risk at trying to see, can I get an international customer base going enough to where this would become more cost effective? Because at lower numbers, it's not. I can tell you right now, it's not cost effective. And so looking at that is a crazy, crazy thing. I have no idea how this is all going to shake out. So that's a tough part to hear. And again, this doesn't mean that I don't care about or value my international customers. It just means, look, this is crazy. I can't remember now, so I don't want to say, but I know that James with Minion Games is going to be altering how he handles international stuff in the future. I thought he said he wasn't going to be doing it anymore. That scares the, living junk out of me. Like, I don't want to alienate a customer base like that, but I may have to if I want to continue. It's like, well, as an international customer, would you like to hopefully be able to buy my product in retail later, or for it simply to not exist? And I know there's a ton of options out there, and there's a ton of people, and there's no lack of variety, but that is a tough reality. Like, truly, truly is. So, I could talk about this forever. Really, this is a much longer topic. I'll end on this note. There was a troll that sent me an email that was really upset that I was selling my games at Essen. And again, I've gotten into this several times. Everyone knows the rationale and the reason behind it. And my potential future shipping costs are another reason why I need Essen to make money. I'm not making any money, guys. It's 3 years. This is a 3rd year anniversary, I think in like 7 days, that Crash Games has existed as an independent publisher. And I haven't paid myself a dime. And so I need Essen to be profitable to cover this potential windfall, or potential, not windfall, that's the opposite word, this potential gap or shortfall that I may have coming up in shipping. But there was a particular troll, and I don't like to address trolls, but this particular one, I've been thinking about it for a week now, and it's really made me angry. He basically said that I should take, he said a company had taken another company that he had backed a project for, had taken a $26,000 kick to the junk on shipping to fulfill the promise, the similar promise that I made, and unfortunately, and much to my detriment and stress level, had to break. And I just won't make it in the future because I hate breaking promises. But he insinuated that I should take essentially a $30,000 loss to honor a promise. Wow, that's tough. I got to tell you guys, if I did that, I'm going out of business. And so that's my choice. Go out of business to fulfill a promise, or break a promise, try to explain myself as best as I can with complete and utter honesty, and still lose a good chunk of a vocal minority chunk of customers over it. So shame on that person. That's terrible, insinuating that I should go out of business to fulfill a promise. If you're that emotionally invested, you need to come work for me. Because if you care that much about getting your game a month or two ahead of someone else, and it's not like I'm putting these into retail. These are going out to individual customers. I have been approached by a plethora of brick and mortar and online stores to sell them products at Essen, and I won't. I won't. If they're an individual person coming up and they want to pay full price for the game, I will sell that to them. Now, if they're going to put it in their shop, I can't control what someone does with that, but they're paying full retail price. So shame on that troll. I can't believe that. Like, wow, you'd rather I go out of business than break a promise. Wow. Okay, guys, so just needed to get some stuff off my chest there. We can always end it all with a JK, just kidding, heart, I love you, so that everything I said can be erased. But no, I needed to say what I said, and I hope that I've said it in an intelligent, constructive, articulate way that everyone can understand. But that's it for this segment. I'm going to have Spencer jump on here and join me in just a moment, and we're going to talk about better and exciting things, preparations a week before Essen, and things that now I've had some time to do some research that I'm excited to see, and also what we've been playing this week. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, we're back here with Sparlos, aka Star-Lord. No, Sparlord. Sparlord, not Star-Lord.
Star-Lord is definitely
Chris Pratt.
different.
Sorry, didn't mean it. So, mi corazón es Chris Pratt. Let's see. Burt Macklin, FBI. Because, see, I've been with Chris Pratt since Burt Macklin and before. So, anyways, that's a tangent. So, week before Essen, crazy last-minute preparations. Had a chance to watch a couple people's videos, like the Board with Life video on what they're looking forward to at Essen. And they had some cool stuff. And then we played a bunch of stuff. So let me get the first stuff out of the way. Like, what am I looking forward to at Essen? Stefan Feld. I think it's La Isla is the game he has coming out. So I think that may be... I'm going to probably only be able to bring back a handful of games, like maybe 2 or 3. That's going to be one of them. There's a lot more stuff that looks cool, but I'm really trying to crack down on the games that I acquire. We just did the call. The call yesterday, and I'll let Spencer tell you how that went.
Okay, so we were here at the office it was the time it's the time of the year where he likes to call out of the games that he hasn't
for our local convention, RenCon,
that he really didn't get to play for this year. So so I was sitting here, I was doing the little bit of studying, and he came back into the office from out there where we where we have all the games at right now.
The warehouse.
Yeah, and so he comes back in, and he goes like, "Oh, there's nothing really out there we need to get rid of. Oh, it's fine, it's cool." I'm like, no.
He's like, get your ass back in there, and you do it.
You get over there, and you.
It was some parenting because I have a hard time getting rid of games.
I had to be the overseer.
Yeah, because it's crazy. Because here's how I acquire games. I'm a gamer just like anybody else, so I purchase, I would say, an above average amount of games. I also receive games for free from other publishers or gifts from other designers. And so sometimes it's like, I feel bad. I don't want to get rid of a particular designer's game because it was a gift. But the fact of the matter is it's sitting, taking up space. For whatever reason, it hasn't gotten played. And I can't play all the games. I can't.
There's so many games out there, so many good games. It's just like,
and I want to send them to a home where they'll be loved and appreciated. And so,
like, yeah, you have appreciation for them. And there are some games where it's like, I know you can't get rid of this one because it was a gift, or it's just really important to you because it was like in the beginning of when you were really, really involved in your company, and it was just really important.
I'm not involved anymore.
No. When you first started the company, that's what I mean. Sure. It was really like a memento, like a freaking.
Tell me more.
But yeah, we're doing that, and more importantly, it's a week before my birthday, which is sad.
Oh, it's his birthday.
I'm turning 12, I think. No, I'm turning 23.
Ooh, 23.
You can't really tell through the space.
We'll have to watch the Jim Carrey movie now.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, so that was a weird tangent. So, yeah, I'm calling a bunch of games, and I made the mistake of posting the picture on Twitter, and everyone starts calling dibs. And some of them are calling dibs out of fun, and some of them really want it. And look, guys, I'm about to ship like 6,000, 7,000 packages. No, these are for local. Yeah, he is. And then I'm gonna rope in some of those other people here locally too. My awesome game group people down here. We got David, Mike, Will, Scott, Eisen, tons of great people that are willing to help out. SQ, Patrick, another Patrick, so many Patricks.
This one,
the other ones. And so I can't ship these out to people. These are for people that are going to pick them up locally only. And if you see a game that you make or you love in that stack, don't take offense to it. Like, it's not a personal thing. It's simply like, for whatever reason, this isn't going to hit the table. And on a personal note, in the next couple of years, my wife and I are looking to seriously downsize and actually move into a tiny house. and I can't fit all that stuff in there, so I'm gonna really have to be careful. And so moving forward, I'm trying to be a lot more strict about buying stuff that I know I will play regularly.
I think you've been pretty good about it.
I'm getting better. I wouldn't say that I'm good anymore.
Well, he okay. In his defense, he's been pretty good the last couple conventions.
I came home from a convention without a game. That's a big. I guess I had one.
No,
I had one.
You had one.
It was Legacy from Ben, my boy at Floodgate. He gave me a free game, and so I brought it home.
But one is really,
huge
like none.
Basically none.
Basically none.
Basically none. So
no offense to the game. I didn't get to play it yet, but
which one?
It counts as the one that you just talked about.
Well, Legacy I'm excited to play, and it will be getting to the table. And I'm gonna start trying to, like, I've had the conversation with my wife Jess and my friends. I had the conversation with David Short yesterday, and it's all just a difficulty in finding time to get new stuff to the table and talk with Spencer about it. So, anyways, that's the annual board game call. We're getting ready to do that before I go off to Essen. And then, what have we been playing? We've had, actually, amidst this crazy time, we've gotten 2 new games to the table.
We played Camel Up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first time I
played it twice.
The first time I played it, it was kind of like
I won both times.
the second time we won by 1 point, but still, it's still a win.
Doesn't matter. It's a win.
So the first time I played it, it was kind of confusing through like the end game, like winning in like betting for the winner and then
betting on the absolute winner and betting on the absolute loser.
It's kind of confusing.
That part is the most confusing, but I think once you've played it and seen it, or I tried to explain it really well, because I had watched a couple videos and still had left confused myself. But yeah, that part's tricky. What did you think about Camel Up? Because now we've had a chance to play it twice, and the other one we've played twice too.
Yeah, so at first
both times with only 3 players.
It was a lot of luck, I felt. But then after that, I was kind of thinking about it. Then we played it again with David Short, and I actually got the hang of it and kind of like got a strategy going, because it's like after one moves and it's like they're on top of each other, and then
there's more control in there than I thought there would be.
Like
based on watching the videos and based on reading the rules, I thought there would be less control. There's more control. It's still really chancy and really luck based, but I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy games like that.
But you can kind of tell, like, through the possibility who's going to move, because the die when in the movement and through the pyramid, it's like the 1, 2, or 3. So it's like you can kind of see.
You can take educated guesses.
Yeah, and it's like you can kind of use your desert tile and the oasis tile.
But I love the dramatic of, you were counting green out, and I gave green a chance. Green jumped to the lead. Like, I like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I play a lot of strategy games too that are super hardcore with 0 luck. And this is a tip to my buddy Kohatsu, but I don't get Kohatsu face.
Kohatsu's great.
Kohatsu's great. I love that guy. But I don't get Kohatsu face. if it has a high amount of luck or chance.
It played pretty quickly, and if it did play longer, I probably wouldn't like it.
Well, and I think it'll be a great game. Like, I will take that up to my in-laws this Christmas, and I will try to introduce them to that, because I think that's a good non-gamer game. And if you're just wanting something light and fun to play with, because I felt like my buddy Bo talks about fun quotient, or like how quick
the fun
and
ratio,
how fun,
like
the fun
how
ratio.
long
Yeah, and so I think Camel Up has a high fun ratio. So because of that, I'll keep it around.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was Camel Up. We've had 2 plays, 3 players. At this point, and I'm trying to call my collection. At this point, it has a place in my collection. I'm not going to rate it because I don't rate games, but at this point, it stays in. And we'll see if it's in there next year.
It's in.
I evaluate my collection every October. And so we'll see if it's still in there next October. And so another game that we picked up this week.
It was,
why don't you?
I forgot the.
It's Art of War.
Art of War.
By Reiner Knizia, published by Fantasy Flight Games, and it's in their teeny tiny little, like, hey, that's my fish size box.
Yeah.
Which is a box size that I love. But I know why they're doing this, but they're packaging it in that plastic, like, J-hook so that it can go on the shelf at retail, which is super hard to get into and razor sharp. Like, you can cut yourself on that game, like, so that's dangerous. Don't cut yourself. I mean, that'd be really thematic, like, the samurai stabbed me, I am dead.
But that game was really cool because it was like a combination between like I think Roll For It.
Roll For It? No, Yahtzee Steal the Deal.
Yahtzee Steal the
Roll
Deal,
For It,
Roll
and
For It,
Elder
and like
Sign,
Elder
kind of like
Sign.
mashed up and simplified.
So it's really cool because yeah, you can concentrate on like the bigger area, which was the yellow ones. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right.
Basically, it has two scoring mechanisms in it. There's two things you can do. Every card that you capture that requires a certain amount of symbols, you capture that card and it's worth its face-up point value. However, there are clans in the game that have number of cards anywhere from like I think the green clan is 1 all the way up to the yellow clan has 4. And if you capture the clan, you flip the entire stack over and it's worth 1 set point, like the yellow's worth 10. Because when you capture a card, it stays in front of you, and your opponents have the opportunity to steal that card away. However, if you have it in a clan and a stack face down, it can't be stolen. So I thought it had some really cool mechanics for its price point,
but
and for its ease to get it to the table, and for its quickness.
Because through all the games that we've played, we pretty much knew how to play it before we even knew what the game was.
Which we played twice. We played once with 2 players, and then we played last night with 3.
Yeah.
And it was interesting with 3. I'd like to try it at 4 now.
Yeah, because I think we'd have to play it more, but my problem was at the very end.
At the very end, there's definitely limited choices.
There is a problem because it's like everyone's fighting for just that one card.
Yeah, there was a choice where the only option I had to potentially win the game was to steal a card from my wife and then try to take the last remaining card in the center. And I had to do that in that order. Spencer was rocking it, and I ended up winning. But Spencer was rocking it and had 3 clans.
I had 3 clans.
And so in order for me, the tiebreaker is whoever has the most clans, because I would have tied him in points, but he would have had more clans. So I had to beat him in points. I wasn't going to beat him in clans.
And you did. You pulled it off.
Yeah, it was lucky. At the end, though, that limited choice.
I just wanted it to end.
Because it probably went on 1 or 2 extra rounds longer than it needed to be, because the last one was really hard to roll.
I just couldn't roll what I needed.
But I'm a sucker for dice games. I had a lot of fun playing it. It has some interesting art that we're not going to talk about that I tweeted and Facebooked that, like, wow, who let this get through? I don't know if that's a theme in games, and if you notice one of the issues that people talked about in 5 Tribes with some of the tokens, then you may know what I'm alluding to on the red clan card in Art of War, Age of War.
Art of War.
It's either Art of War or Age of War.
I'm sorry.
It's Art of War. It was.
We're not good with names.
We're not. But right now it has a place in my collection, and again we'll see where it is next October. Yeah. But I'm a sucker for dice games, particularly ones with small footprints that are easy to get to the table. I wish they had included more cards. The custom dice are top-notch quality, but the box has really got way too much room in it, and I wish they had included more cards or plan on including more cards. I love games like Elder Sign, so if you like games like Elder Sign, if you like games like Roll For It, pick this up. And guys, I haven't talked about this before, but wow. You need to go buy Yahtzee Steal the Deal.
Wow.
It is phenomenal. It's $7. You should be able to find it at Target or Walmart. I'll tell you this. If you buy Yahtzee Steal the Deal and you like dice games and you don't like it, I'll give you your money. Send me the game. I'll give you your money back. Yahtzee Steal the Deal is phenomenal, particularly for $7. And it comes in this tiny plastic cube where it pressure fits awesome dice. It is a really fun, fast game, super high on the fun ratio.
You wouldn't know it by the package. It's
so
tiny.
And you wouldn't know it because it's a mass market game, and so you wouldn't think that. But there have been a couple of diamonds in the rough. Like I know a lot of people like Monopoly Deal, but Yahtzee Steal the Deal, amazing.
That's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty good.
That has a permanent place in my collection forever. Okay, and I think that's about it.
That's about it.
That's about it. We should next week. I will be on an airplane to Essen. But I'm really going to try to do a vlog post really soon after landing. Not that I'll have a lot to talk about, but I definitely want to record at least 1 to 2 vlog episodes while in Essen, Germany. So stay tuned for that. I'll at least record them. I don't know if I'll be able to post them, but I'll at least record them, and we'll post them when I come back. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every week. One of the days. One of the days that fall in, at least by Friday. You're guaranteed by Friday. Yeah. And you can check us out on Twitter at @crash_games and on Facebook just as Crash Games. But have a great weekend, guys, and play more games.